Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. So guys, in the recent past, I've done videos on, first of all, my favorite masks. I've also talked a little bit about whether and how I might be layering them. So today I want to talk a little more specifically about my favorite masks. Yes, I'm going to link my mask favorites video right here so that I don't have to be too redundant. I chose one mask in each category along my mask continuum, and I came up with my favorite masks. And today I just want to give you a couple of tricks to help you apply the mask in the setting for which you want to use it. So, as you guys probably know, my longest time favorite really is the first thing I ever fell in love with was the Synovia, and I really do love it. I have more recently found myself using the Synovia in one of two settings. And it's really interesting. They're both ends of the spectrum, either very high risk, where I'm using it as a topper, or very low risk, where I'm using it by itself. I like the lightweight feel. I like how it wears. It's just a really great mask all the way around in terms of how it feels and how it washes and everything else. However, now that we're into winter and we have these more infectious variants circulating around, and we're in a setting where, at least here in North America and in Europe, it is winter. So it's cooler, it's drier, and people are huddled together in many more settings. We really have to be more concerned about aerosols. And with its 5-micron filtration, now it might be that we find out at some point that the technology in here alone will suffice. But until then, I have found that in a high-risk setting, I'm not willing these days to give up any polypropylene, and I will use this as a topper for its superb antimicrobial activity. This is the master of the high-tech textile, there's no doubt about it. Which brings me to the middle of the mask continuum, and my favorite being the Everbrand. Unfortunately, the Everbrand is going away. I wish it weren't. I haven't found another hybrid that really can take its place, at least not yet. I think I'm just going to live without it. I don't really need hybrid masks when I'm done with these. I'll just have to go on. But this is my favorite of the hybrids. Now, I call it the jack of all trades and the master of none, because not only does it meet the fabric mask criteria with its 3 layers, including the polypropylene in the middle, but it does have a high-tech textile on the first 3 out of 4 layers. Now, I say the master of none because in terms of its high-tech antimicrobial textile, this will eliminate viral load in 99% in 2 hours, whereas the Synovia is 99% in less than 30 minutes. We don't know how much less. It might be just a couple of minutes, under 30 minutes. So the jack of all trades and the master of none is something that I see perfectly acceptable for myself anyway, for low risk settings, obviously, moderate risk settings. People have talked to me about the moderate high, not quite a high risk setting like a hospital, and they're wondering whether the Everbrand will suffice. So, there's no hard and fast rules about this, because I think I'm the only one with these criteria and applying them to various kinds of settings. I'm doing that on my channel. I'm kind of going out on a limb here, right? Here's the way I see it. I would use this in a moderate risk setting. I would use it in a moderate high risk setting. If I did one thing, I would recommend that if you're going to do that, we have talked about, this has been tested, that ear loops do not provide as precise a fit as head straps. I think that if you are going to use this in a moderate to high risk setting, you want to make sure that the fit is as good as possible, and I would use one of the head strap hacks that pull the 2 ear loops back and connect them behind the head. And that gives you a little more tension from above, particularly if you slide that head strap up high. So I would use this as long as the fit is good, and there's no doubt that the fit will be enhanced using a head strap hack. Now, I did a video a while back on some head strap hacks. I'm going to link that right here. I don't think it's the only one I've done, actually, but I'm going to put the one that with my preferred head strap hack. I also think you have to be mindful if you're using this in the more moderate to high risk setting. Remember that your antimicrobial technology is not going to last almost forever on this like it does on the Synovia. So this one will begin to wear off, probably 15 washes. Everbrand says 15. Polygene, which is the maker, the developer of the viral off technology, says 30. My guess is it's somewhere in between. It's not working perfectly and then suddenly gone. It probably begins to break down, and after 30 washes is pretty much gone. So at 25 washes, is it really working for you 100%? Probably not. So I would wash this in delicate. I've said that before. I would wash it only once a week. I would store it in its viral off bag and let this bag do a lot of the job of keeping the microbial load down along the surfaces of this mask. And in doing all those things, I would try to extend the life of my Everbrand mask. I love this mask. but there's just no doubt since it's going away, we're going to have to learn to live without it at some point. And then finally, I've got the other end of the mask continuum, which is the fabric mask. And you guys know my favorite at this point is the DNA. The Stark's mask does still meet the criteria. I have just found that this DNA mask is just a brilliant design. I just am in awe of how this mask is performed. So the DNA mask, I call the master of the fabric masks, in that it has the 3 layers, everything that it should have, but the polypropylene itself is sort of a 3-layer polypropylene. So we've got the outer layer, we've got the inner layer, and then our middle layer is actually 3 smaller layers. So it's almost kind of a 5-layer mask depending on how you look at it. That middle layer of polypropylene is a trilaminate polypropylene, which is melt blown, spun bound. This is just the best workhorse of a fabric mask that I've found yet. I also have found that this contour under the chin works really well to keep, I don't want to say a seal, but keep a very good fit, given that this is a mask, and it does so without forcing air to come up by the nose and cause fogging in the glasses. Now, some questions have come up about this mask where people say they're still having trouble with fogging, which I haven't had, but I'm going to give you a tip, and this is what I've used on a couple of friends, and they've told me that it works. So let me just give a crack at this on video. Let's call this the hack, okay? It's the strap that connects these 2 ear loops at the head strap hack. Let's just call it the hack to be brief. The hack that connects these 2. When you hold the mask like this, and I think just instinctually, people have a tendency to put it right in the middle. So the length of the part of the ear loop that's going toward the bottom, the chin part of the mask, is about the same as the length of loop that's toward the nose piece of the mask. Now, if you're having trouble with getting a good fit or with fogging in your glasses, which is an indication that you're not getting a good fit, I'm going to recommend that you actually slide the hack up a little bit higher so that it's closer to the nose piece. So it looks a little bit funny here because you've got all this extra fabric on this end, but hear me out, just try it. The other thing I'm going to recommend is completely ignore the ear loops. I think that with these, there's a tendency to put the mask on and adjust the ear loops first because they're supposed to go around your ears, and then deal with the strap. Let's do that the other way around. The ear loops will take care of themselves. If we have to move something later, we will. The fit in this mask is really coming from this hack. So let's ignore the ear loops and let's put the hack up much higher toward the nose piece, and let's go ahead and put it on. And what you'll see, first of all, I'm going to put it pretty high up in my head for starters. I'm going to let go. And you'll see that the ear loops are not around my ears. It doesn't matter. We're going to deal with that in a minute. Now, fix the nose piece. And now just tuck this one around the ear. And what you'll find is, I think, is that when you have this up higher on the head, you get a much more precise fit at the top of the mask because you're getting some tension this way up instead of just back past the ears. That's why a head strap hack gives you a better fit than the ear loops alone. And I would actually recommend trying the same thing if you're going to be using the Everbrand mask with a head strap hack. Okay, and I find this comfortable. I can wear this all day. I have had some people say they find the DNA a little bit scratchy. It is a rougher material. I think that you can try washing it a couple of times on delicate. I don't wash this on really harsh detergent because I just don't want to break down that trilaminate polypropylene any sooner than I have to. I do subject it to some water testing here and there. You might even find like a very soft piece of microfiber or something else that you want to put on the inside of the mask. I wouldn't sew it because sewing creates holes, but with double-sided tape, you could connect that to the inside of the mask and see how you like that. You'd probably want to put that in a way that it doesn't move too much. We'll add one more layer, so if you're sort of claustrophobic and you don't like the heat in here, that's going to be a problem. But guys, this is a workhorse of a mask. I just think that this really thick trilaminate polypropylene plus the ability to adjust the vertical fit of this mask without taking away from how high you want it up on the nose. Just so many things about it are so well thought out. This mask is about 1,000 good decisions all in one piece. And speaking of the DNA masks, I just wanted to show you one of the ones I hadn't put on camera before. I just think this is really cute. I think this one went on sale a little while back and I bought it, and I just really glad I did. The truth is they come in so many different fun colors and patterns that I almost didn't take them seriously, and I kind of wish they did have more just plain solid colors without a logo or anything on them. But look, it's a great mask. When I get into high risk, that's when I layer. So some of you saw my recent videos when I documented my experience getting my Moderna vaccine. I had both shots in a large urban hospital setting. It was quite crowded, way beyond my comfort zone. What I do in those settings is I layer my two workhorses, my DNA fabric workhorse with my Synovia antimicrobial textile workhorse, and I layer those together. I had a great experience doing that. I find it comfortable to wear. Yes, it's a little bit warm, but that's the way it goes. Now, I like the layering to be this way, particularly since this mask is designed to be much more of a custom fit. It's also a lot thicker, so I like this mask as the base layer. I like the Synovia on the outside. I also think that this will keep the outside of this one cleaner, more sanitary. It's not as much of a biohazard, especially since we know that particles of live virus can survive on the surface of a plain mask without the antimicrobial textile for up to 7 days. Now, every now and then I still get a question I used to get all the time, which is, what's the one best mask? I finally thought of a way to really articulate my feelings about that too, because I could never really answer it in a straightforward manner. I think asking for the one best mask is really no different than asking for the one best pair of shoes. So I want one pair of shoes in which I'm going to play basketball, I'm going to hike in the Rockies, and I'm going to walk around at work something dressy enough to wear with my office attire. There's no one pair of shoes that is going to suffice for everything, and the same thing I've decided with masks. So I think it's a good idea to have a few of these different things, and then you can get them all working for you in different combinations when you need to. I also think it's good to have a little bit of a change and get used to something, because it becomes so heartbreaking when one thing becomes discontinued, then you kind of start over. I think it's a good idea to have more than one kind of mask. And in this video, I've really tried to articulate why. So let me know if this was helpful. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say about it and more questions. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.